3 months before Kabbalist Rav Berg had a stroke, he called me every morning to come learn with him this new book he was writing called Nano. And he called it Nano because it's about the most fundamental level of reality, subatomic particles, atoms. And we learned every morning, and it was insane. And then he had the stroke. We're working on a lot of projects to really accelerate the arrival of the Messiah. Projects, I don't want to go into it now, but we were really close to the dark side to really take him out. And Karen said, the Rav got too close and the world didn't have the merit, and the stroke came. But I needed a sign. Because when the Rav came home from the hospital, his whole brain, by the way, was blown out. And I was at the hospital. And the doctor said to Karen, you're going to have to make a decision if you want to pull the plug or not, because he's a vegetable. There's no brain left. And Karen said, you don't know who you're dealing with. Bottom line, the Rav woke up from the coma, and he was home now about 4, 5, 6 weeks later after being in the hospital. And he was always sleeping, because it takes months and months and months to really come out of a coma, come out of the stroke. So he was out of it. Karen Berg calls me up one night and says, do you want to come study the Zohar, with the Rav, bring some healing? I ran over to the house with my wife, and we're sitting there, and the Rav's literally just sitting there asleep like this, and Karen's shoving him in the back. Wake up, wake up. He wasn't waking up. He was out of it. It was this way every day. So I said, Rav, do you want to study Zohar? So with his eyes closed, he pushed the Zohar in front of me. He said, the Rav wants me to read? He just nods his head like this. And that's the way he communicated. Okay, so I started to read. I open it up. I read it. The Rav turns around, which is in itself crazy. There's a big credenza behind him, and he picks up a phone, and he puts the phone on the table, and then he shoves it in front of me. The Rav reached over and started pushing random buttons. Then I went, hello? And it was me answering back, reading the Zohar that I just read. I screamed, but that wasn't the bizarre part. The Rav woke up clear as day and said, what's the matter, Billy? You don't believe? And went right back into the coma. I got goosebumps now as I'm telling you the story. It's even more crazy than I'm telling you now. I hope it sounds crazy. So I saw, this is a man who understood the laws of physics and science, the brain, the metaphysical reality, who had control, had power. So why didn't Jesus bring the Messiah? Or if he is the Messiah, why didn't he bring world peace? Why didn't the Rav get it done? Why didn't Moses get it done? Why didn't it happen? Because though they have the power, if the people don't change and don't have the merit, it's not going to get done. So the Zohar teaches the Messiah will die in every generation. He's here always in potential. But I got the sign that the Rav was in control. And so it took about 2 months later, the Rav was then taken to the center. We're sitting in the conference room where we used to learn together. It's now like 3, 4 months later. And the Rav is, still not really with it. And all of a sudden he gives me another sign. He comes back down to his body, the old Rav, and we literally learning science where we picked up exactly where we left off before the stroke. And I'm starting, not hyperventilating, but I'm going, oh God, don't say my mind. Don't say it's too good to be true. Don't say it's too good to be true. And we're talking, it went on for about 2 minutes, and then he left. And a year later, I would go to the basketball game, at the Laker game with the Rav. We spent a lot of time together, but it was a different Rav at that point now. But when I needed him, I said, Rav, I got a question. He would come back, but the way he came back each time was less and less and less. And then one day I said, Rav, he says, I can't do it anymore.